symbol of the two equinoxes, and the rose is the most excellent emblem of the woman. It symbolizes the woman, and as the cross symbolizes masculinity or the sun, the rose symbolizes the woman. The cross on Sara, the Egyptian cross, use those jewelry quite often in our days. This cross is like the letter T, lowercase t, and a circle. It has a circle on top. These are the reproductive organs of men. Forgive me, but that's what the Egyptian cross symbolizes. So the cross, according to the Masons, is the symbol of masculinity, or the symbol of the sun, which fertilizes the earth. Osiris was the sun, and Isis, the goddess earth. So the earth is fertilized by the sun and gives birth to Oran, or men. And this is Egyptian idolatry. This is the cross of the Rosicrucians, which symbolizes masculinity, or the sun, in all its dynamics. The combination of these two symbols, cross and rose, express the union of the sexes, which is the symbol of the universal renaissance or rebirth. Do you remember about the letter G being Genesis, or generation, along with geometry and God? Well, this is what it means. So they have nothing to do with the cross of Christ. Leo Taxil, in his book Masonry, page 238, writes, "My friends, Masonry is Gnosticism beyond a shadow of a doubt." And this is most clear. This is not surprising, then, that the ancient Gnostics worshiped Cain and the ancient serpent. So today's contemporary Masons worship Satan. This is not surprising, but the Masons come and prove us wrong. They worship Satan, and Christ reveals this to us. The Gnostics, according to Leo Taxil, along with today's Masons, recognized as the beginning of good Lucifer, the devil, and as beginning of all evil, Sabaoth. Therefore, the God of the Old Testament is the bad God. He introduced evil by creating matter. The devil, Lucifer, is the good spirit, the good God. Isn't it shocking? And thus, they have this prayer for the devil. "Come, Lucifer, come. You who the priests slander, come. Come so we can embrace you to hold you tight in our arms. We know you for a long time, and you also know us before a long time as well. In the darkened eyes of the plain masses, your works do not always look beautiful. Your works don't always look good. All you blessed of our hearts. But only these can explain the laws of the universe. Without your works, O Satan, the universe would be nonsensical. Only you revitalize, only you produce work, only you refine the commonwealth. You seal virtue. To you belongs the beginning. To you belongs the throne. You, O Adonai, Adonai is our God, the God of the Old Testament, and they turn against him. You, O Adonai, God of plunder and God of injustice, we deny you. You hate science, but we prevailed and possess science in spite of you. You hate happiness, but we will earn it through science in spite of you. Each one of our progresses is a triumph under which your divinity is. Spirit of lies and delusion, your kingdom is over. Seek victims among the animals. You already have been destroyed and deteriorated. Your name, which up to now was the last word of the wise, the authority of the judge with the oaths, the power of the rulers, the hope of the poor, the refuge of the penitent, the evildoer, your name, which is unutterable for us, from now on, it will bring the scorn and the anathema of men. It will be raised, and it will be progressively forgotten. It will remain as the synonym of hypocrisy, lies, superstition, tyranny, and misery. Only the devil can talk like this. These people are really demon-possessed, as you can see. As long as humanity continues to bow down before your terrible, monstrous statues, humanity will be the slave of kings, priests. Humanity will suffer and wither. This is why the three virtues, the motto of the French Revolution, liberty, equality, and brotherhood, has been said to be of Masonic origin. As long as men will swear in your hateful name, the breaking of the oaths will be the foundation of society. Go away, get lost, O executioner of our logic, menace of our conscience. And here Leo Taxil adds that the Masons of the 33rd degree kneel in front of Baphomet, a statue of Satan, who is raised above the altar. And he's none other than the great architect of the universe. So the great architect of the universe, Baphomet, is the devil. This is who the Masons worship. And by the way, pay attention here. This is not revealed immediately as the disciples of Masonry climb little by little, and they are approaching the gates of the 33rd degree, which is the last and final degree. Then they will become participants to the great secret of Masonry. The great secret of Masonry, and that's exactly what we're talking about, the great secret of Masonry is that the great architect of the universe is the devil. And that's what the Masons need to worship, and not the God of the Christians, whom the Masons must destroy at all costs. This, my friends, encompasses the deep secrets of Masonry. Again, Masons of the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh degree, they have no clue about these things. They simply go through some rituals, and if the Masons see that they are not very progressive and, they are not the type that they want to promote, then they do not promote them. Once again, the deep secrets of Masonry is the worship of the devil and the persecution and the humiliation of the holy triune God of the Christians. And now let's ask ourselves, is it or is it not true what the Lord reveals in his epistle to the Bishop of Thyatira, that this teaching comprises of the deep things of Satan? This is precisely why we dealt with Gnosticism and Masonry, and especially since Masons circulate very freely in our church, especially here in the U.S. They become council members, they join the ranks of the priesthood, and I better not say anything more. But my friends, our time is up, and I will close with a couple thoughts. Today, we celebrate the feast day of our holy orthodoxy, and we must come to the realization that we are dealing with a monstrous enemy, Masonry, a great enemy indeed. Please open your eyes. The ancient fathers of the church turned against Gnosticism with all their might. Today, we must turn against Freemasonry, the newer manifestation of Gnosticism. In this, we've received much help from the Holy Script of the book of the Revelation and the revealing statement of the Lord that we are dealing with the depths of Satan. My friends, we should be horrified in the midst of these realities. We must also add that in the event that some uninformed people found themselves in the tantalizing web of Masonry, either out of ignorance or delusion or out of financial need, we are called to ask them and all those future victims to flee quickly from the lodge. We need to help these deluded souls by all means. But the faithful must watch as well. The faithful should not be shaken when these enemies of the church strive with every method to influence people and push their will on the church. The Lord, as the sender of the last epistle to Pergamos, declares, "These things says he who has the sharp two-edged sword." And he foretells and warns his enemies, the Satanists, Repent, or else I am coming to you quickly, and I will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. These are the same words that St. Paul writes for the coming of the Antichrist and his name and the lawless one, because Masonry is a forerunner of the Antichrist, whom the Lord will consume with the breath of his mouth and destroy with the brightness of his coming. My friends, Satan is real and is working full time. He's working with the most horrible means against the Church of Christ, and especially the Orthodox Church. Let's not forget that Satan has his residence and his throne here on earth. Let's not forget that Satan has his synagogue. Let's not forget that Satan has the deep things of his maliciousness. Knowing all this, let's stand well, let's keep sober and vigilant.
Of all the elected officials are also people who are not Christians, anti-Christians. The ACLU in 1965 and 1962 forced prayer out of schools. Separation, church and state. But we do not have that. It is really separation of Christianity and state. You know why? Because to this day, Muslims can go in a classroom and teach about Mohammedanism. They bring Hindus in, no problem. Not a problem.